What you don't say, your body shouts out loud. You've probably heard this 1,000 times, but have you really felt it? Have you stopped to notice what your skin is trying to tell you, or what your joints are feeling? What about your tight chest or your tense stomach? Have you ever dared to listen to what's behind your symptoms, beyond what doctors say? Or do you keep looking for answers outside yourself, like medicine in a pill, a diet, or some expert who knows better than you? This book is a pause, a moment to quiet the noise that's pulled you away from yourself. It's a place where you can see your body not as a problem, but as a message. Each chapter is a door, inviting you to remember that pain isn't punishment. Your body isn't your enemy, and your soul hasn't been silent. It's just tired of not being heard. Science is starting to confirm what mystics have quietly known for centuries. Your energy, your awareness, your perception, they shape your health. What you think sends out a vibe. What you keep bottled up weighs heavy. What you hold on to with anger changes your chemistry. What you accept with honesty begins to heal. This isn't about belief, it's about real science. It's physics, epigenetics, neurobiology, and spirituality without the myths. You'll see some unfamiliar names and ideas, from Chinese medicine, Hermetic philosophy, neuroscience, and ancient Gnostic texts. But you don't have to understand everything. You just need to open yourself enough to remember, because this book isn't meant to be understood with your head. It's meant to be read with your heart. It's not here for you to rush through in one day. It's meant to be lived with, to be your mirror, your doorway, your breath, and most importantly, to remind you the healer you've been waiting for isn't someone new coming in. It's already inside you, ready to wake up. If you're here, it's because you're ready. Not to keep searching, but to start listening to yourself. So open this book not like a reader, but like someone stepping into their own sacred space. Breathe, let go of what you think you know, and remember who you really are. Chapter 1. The Body's Hidden Message. Illness as the Soul's Language. Before an organ shouts, the soul already whispers. But how many people actually listen to that whisper? When pain hits, how many of us pause and ask not just, "What's wrong with me?" but also, "What part of me is trying to be seen?" This chapter is important. It doesn't give you a quick fix or an easy explanation. Instead, it reminds us of a simple truth. Your body isn't the source of your suffering. It's a mirror reflecting when your energy is off balance. Illness isn't punishment or just bad luck. It's a message. If you don't learn to read that message, your body becomes a battlefield. For centuries, medicine has broken us down into pieces. Body separate from mind, mind separate from emotions, emotions separate from spirit, as if life could be cut up without losing the whole picture. But every living field holds memories, and those memories aren't stored in just the organs. They're in the energy field around them. You can call it an aura, a subtle body, or an electromagnetic field. That's where your soul's story really lives. Bruce Lipton, a cellular biologist and a pioneer in epigenetics, put it clearly: your genes don't control your destiny. Your beliefs and perceptions do. What you think and feel, whether you're aware of it or not, changes your cell's chemistry, affects your immune system, and triggers the physical symptoms we call illness. Illness is basically a mismatch over time between what you think, feel, and experience. This isn't a new idea. It's been around a long time but got buried. For example, the ancient Book of Enoch, a text left out of the Bible, says every physical sickness comes from a sickness in the soul. Enoch wasn't a doctor, he was a visionary. But today, science backs this up. Studies in neuroimmunology show that long-term anger, fear, or guilt cause inflammation, DNA damage, and degeneration. Ever notice your throat tightens when you hold back what you really want to say? Or your stomach hurts when you keep rage inside? Or your back hurts when you carry guilt? Or your skin breaks out when you can't deal with certain emotions? Louise Hay put it simply, every illness has a mental cause, and every mental cause can be changed. She beat uterine cancer that doctors said she couldn't. How? By healing the emotional wounds and silence her body held for decades. It wasn't magic, it was a choice. Stop treating the body like the enemy and start reading it like a map. Caroline Myss, a medical theologian and expert in energy medicine, took this further. After studying many patients, she found that each illness connects to a spiritual injury, a broken promise to the soul, a truth not lived, or an emotion not expressed. Each organ relates to an energy center, like chakras in Hindu tradition, and each center holds an important lesson. When you avoid that lesson, your body doesn't punish. It warns you. The body is a truthful messenger. It can't lie, negotiate, or be fooled by your ego. If you feel pain, there's a message. If there's inflammation, an emotion is stuck. If you're exhausted all the time, your soul is out of sync with its purpose. Physical symptoms are the last sign of a deeper conflict, not the first. Once, an older man came to me with bad gastritis that lasted years. He'd tried everything: medicine, alternative therapies, diets. Nothing worked. When I asked what he thought was causing it, he said, "Coffee, teacher." I smiled and asked, "What haven't you been able to digest for decades?" His face fell. Silence followed. He realized it wasn't the coffee. It was his father's betrayal he never admitted. Years of swallowed anger were what really hurt him. Science is catching up. Dr. Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory shows how our nervous system reacts more to emotions than to physical things. The Institute of Heart Math has proven the heart has its own nervous system that sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends back. When wise teachers saw illness, they didn't ask what hurt. They asked where your divine energy was blocked. That break was the real diagnosis. Today, we might call that a broken field. You can't see it on X-rays or MRIs, but you can feel it. Have you ever felt tired for no reason, like your energy is leaking somewhere you can't find? Or a heaviness in your chest with no medical cause? Or a knot in your stomach that doctors can't explain? Those feelings come from your energy field, not just your body. It's like an emotional memory that hasn't been dealt with, sending out mixed, painful signals. Gabor Mate, a doctor who studies trauma and illness, said illness is the body's way of yelling no when you didn't know how to say it yourself. Not setting emotional boundaries or expressing pain causes constant stress on your nervous system, and that stress changes your biology over time. Your cells don't know if an emotion is real or imagined. They just follow the energy field, and that field depends on your coherence. Coherence isn't about being perfect. It's a measurable state when what you think, feel, and do all line up without conflict. When that happens, your energy field flows, grows, and becomes orderly, and that order means health. But when your thoughts, feelings, and actions don't match, your energy shorts out, not because you're weak, but because you're divided inside, and a divided soul can't keep a healthy body. Once, a woman came to me exhausted all the time, but every test was normal. She couldn't get out of bed without feeling crushed. When we talked, her real problem came out quickly. She'd spent 20 years living a life she didn't want. A loveless marriage, a draining job, a routine that crushed her spirit. Her energy field was broken. Her body was still holding on, but barely. So I gave her a simple practice I want to share with you. Sit quietly for 3 minutes every day and do nothing. Just ask yourself, where do I really want to be in my life? Don't answer with your head. Listen with your heart, feel where it hurts. That's where your energy field is torn and leaking, like water running without a channel. Different spiritual traditions agree. We have many layers of energy, from the densest physical body to the most subtle spiritual body. Illness starts in those higher layers as a vibration out of tune. If it's not fixed there, it moves down into your organs and tissues. Chinese medicine calls this a blockage of qi. Tantra calls it a break in the nadis, energy channels. Hermetic teachings call it a fracture between the small self and the bigger universe. Today, science might call it ongoing neuro-emotional imbalance. Whatever the name, the truth is the same. What you don't express gets stuck in your body. What you don't process shows up as symptoms. What you don't heal in your energy field shouts through your body. How do you fix a broken field? Not with medicine, though medicine can help your body hold on for a while. Not with empty positive sayings, though the right words can help your mind reset. It's fixed with presence, pure, focused attention, a sacred practice we've mostly forgotten, sitting with yourself without trying to change anything. When you stop fighting yourself and start watching your feelings without judgment, your energy field begins to heal. This isn't magic, it's science. Quantum physics shows that simply observing something changes it. If that works in the lab, it works in you too. When you notice an emotion without pushing it away, running from it, or turning it into a story, you let that energy flow back where it belongs. You're closing a wound without a knife. Like the Gospel of Thomas says, you're putting on the light you never should have taken off. This chapter isn't here to convince you, but to remind you. If you feel broken inside, don't rush to find the physical cause. Look first at your energy field. If sadness won't go away, if pain stays, if symptoms keep coming back with no medical answers, stop. Don't run more tests. Don't take more medicine. Ask your energy, what part of me is still out of place? What part of me isn't connected to who I really am? Because healing here isn't about fixing the body. It's about repairing the energy that lives inside it. And that energy needs just one thing to get back to normal, for you to be with yourself, fully present, whole, and listening. In that simple, rare, powerful moment, your energy field realigns and your body, like a child finally seen, starts to heal. Chapter 3. The Sacred Breath. Breathing might seem like the simplest thing, something we do without even thinking. But every moment of your life, your thoughts, feelings, and experiences moves through this invisible act that has been with you since your first breath. Breathing isn't just about taking in oxygen, it's a bridge, a kind of code connecting the visible and invisible parts of us, the body and the spirit, the broken and the healed. In ancient Indian tradition, this life energy is called prana. It flows and is controlled through breath. Science, after a long time ignoring it, is now starting to agree. The wise teachers of India didn't need labs to know that changing your breathing rhythm changes your mind. They understood that taking a deep breath could help you feel more open, and breathing out deeply could release old memories your conscious mind couldn't reach. They called this practice pranayama, which means controlling life energy through breath. It wasn't just about breathing, it was about calling on, directing, freeing, and cleansing energy. Breathing was like a ritual. Today, science measures something called heart rate variability, HRV, which shows how well your nervous system is working. A high HRV means you're emotionally strong and adaptable. A low HRV links to stress, anxiety, and weak immunity. The good news? Simple breathing exercises can improve HRV. Research from the HeartMath Institute shows that breathing slowly, around 5 to 6 breaths per minute, while focusing on your heart creates harmony in your body in just a few minutes. breathing isn't just about calming down. It actually resets your whole system: brain, heart, emotions. Conscious breathing shapes brain waves, balances the left and right sides of your brain, and helps your body adjust to new energies. Your thoughts change your body chemistry, but your breath changes how you access those thoughts. If you breathe like you're scared, your mind acts scared. If you breathe calm and easy, your mind feels calm and open. Breath doesn't just follow feelings, it creates them. This is where the magic begins. Breath carries information, not just air. Every inhale brings in not only oxygen, but also energy, history, and frequency. Every exhale can let go of things your mind can't fully understand. And in that invisible flow, you have the one tool you always had, even when you forgot it: your breath. Here's a story I keep with me. A man suffering from panic attacks couldn't calm down with anything. Pills, distractions, hugs, nothing worked. The only thing left was to stop and breathe. I asked him to sit quietly and follow this pattern. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, breathe out for 6. At first, it was hard. After 2 minutes, his chest started to open. After 4, his shaking stopped. After 6, he quietly cried. "I never let myself go that deep before," he said. It wasn't magic, it was being present. Conscious breath opens paths inside us that the mind can't control. It activates the part of your nervous system that relaxes you, lowers stress hormones, releases feel-good chemicals, and most importantly, silences the ego. In that silence, real healing starts. Breath doesn't just fix what's broken, it remembers what's been lost, wakes up what's asleep, and brings light where there was only stress. Ancient spiritual texts said this in symbolic ways. The Gospel of Philip says, "The soul enters through the breath, and through the breath it can return to its source." This simple line sums up a powerful spiritual truth. It's not meditation you need, it's presence in your breath. When you breathe without awareness, your body acts on autopilot. But when you focus on your breath, you take back control. You come back home. How do you practice this in daily life? With determination and humility. You don't need fancy techniques, just a little willpower to stop. Close your eyes, feel air flow through your nose without pushing it. Hold it briefly as if pausing the world. Then slowly and gently breathe out, like your soul is releasing years of tension. Doing this for 7 minutes a day can reduce anxiety, shown by scientific measurements. And if you do it with intention, it doesn't just calm you, it transforms you. Here's a simple routine: quantum restoration breathing, 7 minutes every day. 1. Sit up straight and close your eyes. 2. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. 3. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Breathe out through your mouth for 6 to 8 seconds without forcing it. 5. As you exhale, imagine you're letting go of a shadow, a burden, or a story. Repeat this cycle for 7 minutes. 7. Don't expect anything. Just be in the moment. Healing happens quietly, deep down, like roots growing unseen. When you breathe like this, it's an act of taking control of your own energy. You don't need chants, incense, or crystals, just your breath and your presence without judgment. That's where real healing starts. And if you still doubt it, ask yourself, when was the last time you breathed with your soul? When was the last time you didn't rush, tense up, or try to escape with your breath? If you can't remember, your body is already asking. Breathing isn't just about surviving, it's about coming home, rebooting, and remembering who you are when fear isn't in charge. When you make breathing a conscious habit, not just something you do automatically, everything else will start to fall into place. Your mind calms down, your body listens, your energy expands, and without even realizing it, you begin to heal your inner self. Not by force, but by presence. And honest breathing is the purest way to be here now. Chapter 4, the quantum silence, when the energy around you settles quietly. Today, many people are afraid of silence because that's when hidden things start to speak. The noise we hear isn't just outside sounds, it's a kind of defense. Every phone screen, every unnecessary chat, every background song, every repetitive thought is a way we avoid hearing what our soul has been quietly saying all along. Because when everything stops and you're left alone with your own energy, there's no more hiding or distractions, just the truth. And if you're not ready for it, silence feels unbearable. But silence isn't empty or missing something. It's the space where what was hidden comes back. It's the original place where everything began. An ancient text called the Book of the Secrets of Enoch says, "Before there was any sound, there was a great silence, and in that silence, the Word was waiting to be born." Silence comes before language. It's the root vibration from which everything else grows. There might be no words, but there is meaning. No thoughts, but there is awareness. No action, but everything changes. Spiritual teachers knew this. Early Christian monks went into the desert not because they hated people, but because they knew that to hear God, you first have to stop hearing yourself. In old monasteries, silence wasn't a punishment. It was a tool, a way to quiet the busy mind and open up to something deeper and eternal. Now, science is starting to explain this in its own way. Brain science shows that silence helps the brain reorganize itself. One study found that just 2 hours of silence each day helps grow new brain cells in the part of the brain responsible for memory and emotions. Another study showed that choosing silence lowers stress hormones, steadies your heart, and helps you manage emotions better. Most interestingly, long periods of silence boost alpha and theta brainwaves, which are linked to deep reflection, unlocking hidden memories, and expanding awareness. What mystics call divine presence, science might call brain harmony. These ideas aren't opposed. They're just different ways of saying the same thing. Silence lets your energy settle naturally, like a calm lake reflecting the sky when the wind stops. Silence doesn't fix you directly, but it helps your body remember how to heal itself. Silence doesn't give you answers, but it lets go of questions that don't matter anymore. It's a kind of quantum medicine. It works not on your physical body, but on the information that shapes it. I remember a woman caught in endless sleepless nights. Nothing worked. No tricks, no medicine, no chance. She was worn out from trying to sleep. I suggested something simple but radical. Every night, just sit in total silence for 15 minutes without trying to do anything, just observing. At first, she resisted. Her mind was loud and her body shook, but by the third day, a small opening appeared, not in her body, but in her defenses. What came through wasn't peace right away. It was deep sadness. With more silence, she started to empty out, and on the 7th day, she finally slept. Not because of a method, but because her energy was finally heard without interruption. True silence doesn't last forever. It moves through you. Quantum physics tells us that any system left alone naturally moves toward order. Silence is that letting go. It lets the body's own intelligence, the part that runs your heart, organizes your DNA, and keeps you alive without your thinking, do its work. Not by trying to control, but by surrendering. How do you practice this kind of silence, which isn't just stillness, but a kind of transformation? First, know the difference between outside silence and inside silence. You can be in a quiet room and still have a noisy mind. Real silence starts when your mind stops reacting to what's happening. It's not about fancy meditation techniques. It's about simply being present without needing to do anything. Here's a practice to help your brain reach that peaceful state. Quantum silence, 10 minutes a day. Find a place where you won't be disturbed. It doesn't have to be completely quiet, just don't respond to the noise around you. Sit down with no goal or expectation. Don't try to achieve anything or transcend. Just be. Close your eyes and focus on the space just behind your forehead, as if you're listening from there. Watch your thoughts like clouds passing by. Don't chase them or judge them. Just let them go. When you feel like you're in a place without needing to think, stay there. Don't force it. If your mind wanders again, smile inside and gently return to silence. There's no way to fail at this. The only thing to avoid is pretending you know what you're doing. Silence isn't something to master, it's something to allow. An old Gnostic text called the Pistis Sophia has Jesus telling his followers, "Don't look for me with words. Go inside your own temple, and there, in the depths of silence, you will find me before you even call." What temple is this, if not your own body? And what depth, if not that moment of being present without judgment? Quantum silence isn't for everyone, not because it's impossible, but because not everyone wants to face what comes up when the noise stops. Still, when you do, something shifts, not on the outside world, but on the deeper level where your energy rearranges before it shows up in your life. Your field, the invisible connection between you and the divine, starts to come back into balance, not because you understand it, but because you respect it. Then your soul, which doesn't need words, begins to speak. It speaks in images you don't recognize, feelings that don't come from your body, and gut feelings you didn't make up. It's your true self reminding you who you are beyond stories. It's your energy saying, "I don't need you to do more, I just need you to be." Being in silence is the most powerful thing a broken soul can do. Silence doesn't fix you, but it lets everything happen, and what you let happen changes everything. Chapter 5. Conscious touch, the hand that remembers before the mind. Before we even spoke words, our hands were already communicating, not with ideas, but with vibrations. From the very beginning, humans didn't touch just to hold or grab. They touched to connect and share energy. The skin, our largest organ, can both send and receive energy signals. And the hands, those two sensitive parts hanging near the heart, are where the invisible energy meets the physical body. This chapter isn't about simple physical contact. It's about the energy that moves when you touch, with full awareness, and about how your body remembers when your hands don't invade but gently reconnect. Ancient wisdom understood this. In the Zohar, a key book of mystical Kabbalah, it says that the palms of righteous people have gates of fire where light flows in and out. Though that sounds symbolic, science now studies something similar. Our bodies, especially our hands, give off tiny bursts of light called biophotons. This light isn't from heat or friction, but from organized cell activity. So when you place your hands on someone else with full presence, you're sending glowing information that affects their cells. This isn't magic, it's physics. A German scientist named Fritz Albert Popp showed that living cells actually emit light. This light changes depending on your emotions and energy. When you feel love, gratitude, or kindness, your biophoton light gets stronger and more organized. When you're stressed or angry, it weakens and becomes messy. For years, this was ignored because it wasn't easy to measure clinically, but it proves what ancient healers always knew. Conscious touch works by sending energy frequencies, not just by physical form. Modern medicine, with its sharp tools and strict rules, forgot that touch isn't about fixing, it's about listening with your skin, It's about placing your presence gently on a wound without trying to immediately repair it. There's a kind of healing touch that works not by technique, but by truth. An energy that surrenders itself without judgment. That truth isn't taught, it's remembered. Like remembering a lost language when you return home, the skin holds memories, not of events, but of vibrations. Every time you were touched disrespectfully, your energy closed off. Every time you were held tenderly, it opened up. That pattern stays with you. So when you place your hands quietly on your body, with clear intention, you aren't just touching, you're talking to a memory your mind can't explain. Your body keeps every touch you've ever had, the harsh and the gentle, the healing and the cold, the loving and the neglectful. And there's one kind of touch you might have forgotten, your own. When was the last time you touched yourself without judgment, without pressing or measuring, but just to be there with yourself? When did you last put your hands on your belly and silently say, "I'm here for you"? This simple practice, no school teaches it, no doctor prescribes it, can change your entire energy because conscious touch awakens cellular memory. This idea comes from complex physics. Every cell tends to vibrate in harmony when exposed to consistent, coherent frequencies. Like two tuning forks, if one vibrates near a silent one, eventually both will sync up. The same happens between your hands and your body. When your palms send presence without judgment, your cells start to remember their natural balance. That, in energy terms, is healing. A woman once came to me feeling disconnected from her womb. She had surgeries, trauma, and long periods of silence. That part of her felt dead, like it didn't belong to her. I didn't give her exercises or chants, just one simple request every morning. Place your hands on your belly and breathe. Don't think, don't pray, just be there. At first, she felt nothing, then warmth, then tears. After 3 weeks, she said, "I don't reject myself anymore. I'm not sure if I'm healed, but I'm no longer hiding from myself." And that was enough. Because touching yourself like this says, "Here I am." It creates space for your soul to live in your body again. But conscious touch isn't just for healing yourself. It can help others too. When you place your hands on someone with real presence, without trying to fix them or prove anything, you give something far beyond technique. You offer a balanced energy field. In quantum terms, that's sending order. Old hidden gospels tell stories of Jesus touching people quietly and without words. One story says Jesus touched a leper, not to perform a miracle, but to remind him he was still worthy of love. That simple touch, more than any prayer, brought order and healing, because skin doesn't need convincing, it just needs to be found. How can you practice this with yourself? Here's an easy way to reconnect with your body. Conscious touch practice. 10 minutes. Pick a part of your body that hurts, feels distant, or you reject. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and gently place both hands there. No pressure, no movement, just rest your hands. Breathe deeply. Don't look for results, just be present. Ask softly, like talking to a hurt child, "What do you need me to hear today?" Don't answer, just listen. Stay there until something softens. Do this every day, not to fix, but to remember that the body you judge or push away is still you. When your hands become a bridge, not a tool, your energy remembers how to flow freely again. Before medicine, the skin was an altar and the hand its priest. When you touch yourself with honesty, you don't just heal, you make sacred. Chapter 6. The Inner Map, when the organ reveals the soul's contract. The soul doesn't speak in words. It doesn't use language or symbols we can easily understand. Instead, It speaks through our organs, through tissues, through silent pains and recurring symptoms, symptoms that don't always follow medical logic or genetics. These signs come from unfulfilled agreements, emotions we haven't processed, and truths we've ignored. When one of your organs gets sick, it's not just breaking down, it's trying to send you a message. This chapter is about mapping what's blocked inside you. It explores the body as a symbolic map, where each area represents not just a physical function, but a deeper contract between your soul and the life you're living. In the Kabbalah tradition, every part of the body connects to a divine energy. For example, the liver relates to justice and judgment. When the liver is sick, it's not just about physical toxins, it reflects an overflow of judgment or anger that hasn't been resolved. This isn't about feeling guilty, it's about recognizing energy imbalance. The organ isn't broken, it needs understanding, not just medicine. For thousands of years, Chinese medicine has also used a similar map. The heart is seen as the emperor, connected to joy and excitement. The lungs hold sadness, the spleen holds worry, the kidneys hold fear, the liver holds anger. But knowing this isn't enough. You have to really listen. When emotions are held inside too long without being expressed or changed, they harden and become a burden your body carries. That's what your body tries to tell you when it shows symptoms you can't explain. French researchers like Claude Sabat created what's called biological code theory, based on thousands of cases. It says every disease has a clear emotional cause. For example, gastritis isn't just too much stomach acid. It's about something you can't digest emotionally. Skin problems aren't just skin issues. They're about feeling invaded or hurt in ways your body can't protect against. Biology isn't random. It follows a language written by your soul and carried out by your body when your awareness is disconnected. Modern science is starting to agree with these old ideas. Dr. Candace Pert, a neuroscientist, said, "Emotions aren't just feelings, they're chemical signals stored in cells all over your body. That means emotions are biological information. When that information gets stuck, it piles up in a certain organ. That organ becomes a kind of messenger for your soul. What we call a symptom is really an underlined sentence in a contract you forgot to read. Want to start reading that contract? Look at your body. Notice where it hurts. Don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" but instead, "What part of me needs to be heard?" If your throat often hurts, maybe you're holding back truths you need to say. If your stomach tightens every day, maybe you're trying to control what can't be controlled. If your back feels heavy, maybe you're carrying someone else's burdens. This isn't just metaphor, it's the body's real way of showing what's going on inside. Think of each organ like a door. Behind it is a story, a frozen emotion, or a memory waiting to be understood. When something inside you shifts, it's not a failure, it's a door opening. That opening is a chance to see what's been hidden, not out of morbid curiosity, but with respect. The story inside your liver or your knees is part of your contract with life. And every contract has one important rule: it can be changed. A patient with chronic skin problems came to me after years of failed treatments. Her body was speaking, but no one listened. When we looked deeper, we found a childhood filled with separation and abandonment. Her skin, which represents her boundary, had been invaded without protection. Her body reacted with inflammation because she didn't know how to set limits. Only when she started saying no, not just with words, but from her soul, did her skin calm down. It wasn't any cream that helped. It was energy coming back into balance. This inner map is clear, but it takes practice, not degrees, but presence. The best observer isn't the one who knows the most, but the one who looks without judgment. To read your body, you have to stop seeing it as broken and start seeing it as a messenger. Like any good messenger, your body doesn't need fixing, it needs understanding. Here's a simple guide to start listening. Throat issues, difficulty speaking your truth or fear of judgment. Heart problems, emotional overload, conflicts with self-love or love from others. Lung troubles, sadness that's frozen or unexpressed. Stomach pain, trying to control the uncontrollable. Liver troubles, bottled up anger, frustration, or unfairness. Kidney issues, deep fears or insecurity about existence. Knee pain, resistance to change or pride blocking surrender. Skin problems, struggles with contact or broken boundaries. But knowing this is only the start. You don't read your body with books. You read it with silence, touch, and breath. That's why this chapter ends with a guided meditation. Not a mental exercise, but a moment of recognition. Meditation turns symptoms into insight. Find a quiet place and sit for 15 minutes. Close your eyes and bring your attention to the part of your body where you feel discomfort or disconnection. If you can, place your hands there, breathe deeply. Imagine you're going inside that organ like entering an ancient room. Notice what you feel. Don't search for pictures, just notice the sensation. Ask gently, what contract did I forget here? What story needs to be seen? Listen without forcing. If feelings come up, welcome them. If nothing comes, simply thank yourself for being present. Then slowly breathe out and say inside, I hear you, I see you, I am with you. Do this every time your body speaks, not to make the symptom go away, but to honor its message. When you stop fighting your body and start reading it like a sacred text, things change. Illness stops being the enemy, and pain isn't punishment. Everything becomes a conversation between your soul and your body, your mind and your temple, between who you are now and who you were before the illness. You didn't come here just to be healthy. You came to live in harmony, and true health is just the natural result of that harmony being restored. Chapter 7. Energy follows attention. What you focus on vibrates. Everything you see has its own vibration, and everything that vibrates responds. That response either organizes or breaks down, following a law as old as the universe. Attention shapes reality. This isn't just a metaphor or a hopeful idea. It's a real law that works across quantum physics, biology, emotions, and spirituality. Wherever you put your attention, your energy flows there. Wherever you keep looking, that part of your life grows. Wherever your mind focuses, that becomes the center of your world. This chapter isn't about just thinking positively or imagining good things. It's about realizing that your attention isn't passive. It creates. It's the tool that shapes your inner world and everything outside of it. Quantum physics was the first to say this clearly. The observer changes what is observed. The famous double-slit experiment shows this well. Scientists found that tiny particles like electrons act like waves or particles depending on whether someone is watching them. In other words, matter changes based on the awareness observing it. So if this happens with particles, what happens with your cells, your emotions, your organs, or your health? What kind of energy are you creating when you think, this has no solution, nothing ever changes for me, I'm stuck? And what kind of energy forms when you picture healing, peace, and truth? Bruce Lipton, a cellular biologist and author of The Biology of Belief, said it clearly. Cells don't react to the outside world, but to what you believe exists inside your mind. Your body doesn't follow outside reality. It follows your inner picture of reality. That inner picture is made and kept alive by your attention. So when you change your attention, you change your biology. This isn't a new idea. The ancient corpus hermeticum says, "You become what you focus on." It's not just about seeing with your eyes, but about truly living in your focus. What you hold in your mind, even in silence, starts to shape your energy. Each thought you imagine sends a bioelectrical signal in your body. Neuroscience confirms that when you imagine something clearly, like running or hugging or healing an organ, your brain activates the same areas as if you were actually doing it. Visualization isn't fantasy, it's a real instruction to your body. And when you repeat that instruction with feeling, your brain can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. If you feel it deeply, your brain treats it as real. That changes your body chemistry, your gene expression, and the energy around you. Your attention, combined with emotion, sends a powerful vibrational command. This explains the placebo effect, one of medicine's greatest mysteries. When someone takes a fake pill believing it will help, they often get better, not because of the pill, but because their attention and belief change their body's reality. The opposite happens too. The nocebo effect. Expecting harm causes harm. What you focus on, even if it's fear, vibrates inside you and the energy field around you, and what vibrates eventually shows up in your life. This isn't about forcing positive thoughts. It's about taking responsibility for what you focus on. A woman once told me, "I'm trying to heal, but I can't stop thinking about my pain." I said, "You're not trying to heal, you're holding your wound in your attention." And I didn't judge her. We all do it. We keep the story of pain alive in our minds, even as we ask to feel better. But energy doesn't respond to words. It responds to how your thoughts, feelings, and focus line up. The world won't change just because you believe it can. It changes when you live in that belief as if it's already true. And that starts in the unseen space of your attention. There's a Sufi story about a man who prayed every night for peace, but kept thinking about the person who hurt him, the unfairness, and the wound that wouldn't heal. One day his teacher told him, "You're not praying to God, you're praying to your fear." The man was confused. The teacher explained, "You pray to what you focus on. Every time you think about fear or pain, you feed that energy, and energy grows where it's fed." So this chapter gives you more than ideas. It gives you practice, exercise, coherent bioelectrical visualization, 10 minutes daily. Pick an image that shows your healed self, not a perfect fantasy, but something you can really feel. Maybe walking lightly, sleeping peacefully, or laughing from your heart. Sit quietly and close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths, focusing on your heart. Start to imagine that scene, adding details like light, smells, and movement. As you imagine, bring in a feeling like gratitude, joy, or love. Stay with the image for 5 to 7 minutes. If your mind wanders, gently come back. When you finish, say to yourself, "This is already inside me. I don't need to see it to believe it. I believe it, so it's already becoming real." Do this daily, not as magic, but as training your attention. Because attention isn't just focus, it shapes reality. The Gospel of Thomas says it best. "Blessed are those who see with the heart, for they will be made according to their vision." You see what you believe, not the other way around. So ask yourself, what do you focus on every day without realizing it? Where do you put your energy? What are you feeding with your repeated thoughts? Remember, energy moves not by effort, but by where you focus. And what you focus on vibrates, and what vibrates becomes real. Chapter 8. Forgiveness is not about morals, it's about energy. For centuries, we were told to forgive because it was the right thing to do, to show virtue and honor others even when they didn't deserve it. But what no one explained is this: forgiveness isn't for them, and it's not even just for your mental well-being. Forgiveness is about shifting your energy. It's the choice to stop holding on to harm in your body. It's physics. It's about restoring flow and letting stuck energy that's vibrating low and causing illness, start moving again. This chapter isn't about excusing what happened or pretending to be okay with it. It's about understanding that holding on to resentment weighs you down, emotionally and physically. Unreleased pain turns into chemistry, tension, inflammation, and cell damage. Dr. Gabor Mate, who wrote When the Body Says No, explains that holding in emotions for a long time is a big factor in autoimmune diseases, cancer, and chronic illnesses. He's not speaking metaphorically. He's giving a medical diagnosis. Resentment builds up energy that gets stuck. When emotions like pain, betrayal, guilt, or anger don't have a way out, they become trapped frequencies. These stuck energies create blockages in your subtle energy system, messing with your nervous system, organs, immune system, thoughts, and choices. It's like being out of sync with yourself. In terms of energy, forgiveness isn't about feeling a certain way. It's about letting go. It's about restoring the natural flow between your body, mind, and soul. When you don't forgive, you keep reliving the hurt. Each time you do, your body reacts like the wound just happened again. Your stress response kicks in, cortisol floods your system, blood pressure changes, and important feel-good chemicals stop flowing. Your body's ability to heal slows down. Even your pineal gland, the part of your brain that controls sleep, intuition, and hormone balance, goes into a kind of shutdown. Not because it's broken, but because your energy is blocked. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus said, "If you bring out what is within you, it will save you. If you don't, what's inside will destroy you." This isn't just poetic, it's energy science. What you don't release becomes physical, and the body never forgets. A woman with rheumatoid arthritis came to me after trying every treatment she could find. Her body was stiff, inflamed, and painful. Nothing worked until her story came out in the silence. She carried a betrayal from her family, a wound she never spoke about, and rage she thought was part of who she was. She couldn't forgive, not because she didn't want to, but because she believed forgiveness meant losing her dignity. I told her, forgiveness isn't about forgetting or excusing. It's about letting go of the part of you still trapped in that story. It's about energy, not memory. Then I gave her a practice, not based on logic, but on energy, and I want to share it with you now. 7 days of vibrational forgiveness, 10 minutes each day. Day 1. Name it without story. Pick a person or situation that still weighs on you. Don't tell the whole story, just name it. Say to yourself, here is a knot. Day 2. Feel without judging. Let the emotion come up. Don't analyze or stop it. If it's anger, let it burn. If it's sadness, let it flow. Let your energy know you won't push it down anymore. Day 3. Touch the knot. Place your hands on your chest or belly. Close your eyes and say quietly, I'm here with what hurts. I don't deny it. I don't hide it. I hold it. Breathe deeply. Day 4. See it from the soul. Picture the person or situation from a distance, a simple shape, no details. See it from where you are now, not from your past. Watch without getting caught in it. Day 5. Break the contract. Say or write, I break the energy contract that keeps holding this story in my body. I give back what isn't mine. I reclaim myself. Day 6. Bring in a new feeling. Breathe deep and focus on your heart. Bring up a feeling that's the opposite of pain, freedom, peace, lightness. Don't force happiness, just a lightness. Day 7. Integrate. Write a phrase to sum up what you did. Today, I stop using my body to hold the past. Then sit quietly for 5 minutes and notice how your energy feels. Do this practice not as therapy, but as regular energy cleaning, because forgiveness takes time. Each time you let go of a layer, your energy gets lighter. When your energy lightens, your body responds. Your immune system wakes up, your digestion relaxes, your breathing deepens, your pineal gland reactivates, and your overall vibration rises. You start to remember who you were before carrying this pain. True forgiveness doesn't erase what happened. It erases the need to keep reliving it. In that space, something new grows, a frequency that doesn't depend on anyone else, a kind of energy freedom that asks for no one's permission, an order restored from within. Forgiveness isn't about being virtuous, it's about clearing your energy. It opens the door for life force to flow again like it did before the hurt. It lets you live without your body holding on to the past. And when that happens, you don't just heal, you become free. And in freeing yourself, you come back to who you really are. Chapter 9. The body is a temple, not a battlefield. For too long, we've treated the body like a battlefield. We demand things from it, try to fix it, hide it, or use it to fight inner battles. It's been seen as the enemy that must obey, a machine that has to perform, or a container that has to fit someone else's idea of perfection. And in all that, we forgot what the body really is. This chapter is a call to change that view. It's a simple but radical idea. See your body as a temple, not a trench. A living altar, a place of presence, not punishment. True spirituality doesn't reject the body, it honors it. The body is where consciousness shows itself, where energy becomes real, where the invisible turns visible. St. Paul said it clearly in a letter to the Corinthians. Don't you know your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, and that God's Spirit lives in you? He wasn't speaking in a metaphor, he was naming a sacred truth. The body isn't a prison for the soul, it's its home. And when you treat it with respect, it comes back into harmony with its original design. Ramana Maharshi, a wise sage from India, took this even further. The search for God begins inside the body and ends when you realize the body is an expression of the self. He didn't teach that the body should be denied, but that it should be accepted and integrated. As long as you reject your body, enlightenment stays a concept. When you honor your body as a sacred space, consciousness can fully come down. Science today is confirming this ancient wisdom. Psychoneuroimmunology, the study of how the mind, nervous system, and immune system interact, shows that how you think about your body affects how your body works. If you see your body as a battleground, it gets ready to fight. If you see it as a temple, it opens to healing. A 2018 study found that people who loved and honored their bodies, even those with chronic illness, had higher levels of natural killer cells, which help fight viruses and cancer. This wasn't just positive thinking, it was a deep respect for the body, seeing it as a messenger, not an enemy. So how do you live in your body? Do you talk to it harshly? Do you push it hard and ignore its needs? Every word, thought, and look you give your body, even silently, makes a difference. The body doesn't just react to food or medicine, it reacts to energy, and your energy comes through how you relate to it. When you hate your body, your immune system weakens. When you demand too much, your hormones get stressed. When you rush, digestion suffers. When you reject your body, healing stops. Your body isn't deaf. It's a sacred altar that responds to the care and attention of the one who lives in it. And that's you, whether you realize it or not. This chapter isn't about giving you a technique. It's about changing how you connect with your body. It's about looking at it with respect, not as something that must perform, but as something that deserves love. Not love for how it looks or what it does, but love for simply being. A woman who had spent years demanding perfection from her body came to me feeling worn out. Her hormones were out of balance, her energy unpredictable, and she struggled to rest. "I've tried everything," she said. I told her, "You've tried everything except treating your body like a living being that listens to you." I gave her a simple practice. Each morning, place your hands on your belly and say, "Thank you for holding me up, even when I ignored you." It seemed strange at first, but by the third week, her cycle regulated, not by magic, but because her energy realigned. Biology responds to energy, and energy responds to how it's treated. This care isn't just about big actions. It's about small, everyday choices, how you eat, move, and speak to yourself. Every daily act can be either a battle or a prayer. Ask yourself, not to judge, but to understand. How do I speak to myself when I look in the mirror? Do I feed myself from fear or gratitude? Do I move to punish or to celebrate life? Do I rest as a right or as a chore? What parts of my body do I reject without realizing it? These questions open doors, because every part of your body you reject becomes a shadow, and that shadow creates chaos in your energy. Honoring your body doesn't mean worshiping it. It means listening. It means saying through your actions, "You don't have to scream anymore. I'm here." So here's a simple daily practice. No discipline needed, only love. Ritual of reconsecrating the temple. 5 minutes daily. When you wake up, before moving, place one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Say inside, "Thank you for holding me up, even when I didn't listen, even when I demanded too much." Bring your attention to the part of your body you judge the most. Don't try to fix it, just feel it. Say to yourself, "It's not broken, it was just alone." Sit quietly for a few minutes. Do this every day, not to fix anything, but to remember your body isn't a barrier to your spirit. It's its purest expression. When you do this consistently, energy shifts. Your field becomes calm and welcoming. Your body functions better. Inflammation lowers, breathing slows. Your mind quiets, not because you forced it, but because you stopped fighting yourself. Your body doesn't need to be perfect to heal. It needs love, peace, and presence. Only then does your body stop being a battlefield and start showing its true self. A sacred altar, your home, the soul in motion. And you, without needing to change a thing, start to remember who you've always been, a temple ready to be lived in with respect and dignity. Chapter 10. Awakening the Inner Healer. Turning on your original code. This isn't the end of the journey, it's a new beginning. If you've made it this far, it's no accident or just curiosity. A part of you, the oldest, wisest, and strongest part, already knew this path wasn't about finding something new, but about returning to what you forgot. This book hasn't been about teaching new techniques or therapies. It's about uncovering a quiet truth your soul has been protecting. The healer you're looking for isn't outside, it's inside, in the place where you stopped looking at yourself without judgment. The inner healer isn't a job or a skill you learn in classes. It's not a special power for just a few people. It's a frequency, a state where your mind, emotions, body, and spirit stop fighting each other and come together in agreement. To be present. This state isn't learned, it's remembered. Science is starting to show what ancient wisdom has always said. Studies from the HeartMath Institute show that when you stay in a steady heart rhythm, through conscious breathing and focusing on your heart, your body's energy field expands and organizes. This affects your nervous system, hormones, and even your brain's ability to change and heal. At the same time, research with experienced meditators like Dr. Joe Dispenza's work shows that deep self-awareness changes brain activity, activates balance, broadens perception, and promotes cell repair. This data doesn't mean spirituality has become science. It means science is beginning to speak the language of the soul. The soul knows healing doesn't come from trying harder, it comes from returning. Healing isn't about learning new things, it's about remembering what's always been there, waiting to wake up. That moment is here. The inner healer wakes up when you stop chasing fixes and start holding yourself with kindness. It awakens when you breathe without controlling, touch yourself without demanding change, listen to yourself without filtering. The healer doesn't show up in noise or how-to guides. It reveals itself in the quiet truth of, I am here. The Gospel of Truth, one of the quietly hidden ancient texts, says, "Whoever truly knows themselves is no longer known by the world, but is known by the One." This knowledge isn't about facts or stories. It's about living in the state of being that doesn't depend on your name, history, or wounds. When you feel this, even for a moment, something resets. It feels like peace, but it's deeper. It's connecting to your original code, the one you were born with, that knows how to restore you, how to bring you back to your natural vibration before trauma, fear, or adapting. This code never goes away. It's just covered up, covered by other people's stories, inherited beliefs, and systems telling you who you are and what you lack. But underneath it all, it's still pulsing, and today, you're ready to turn it back on. Original code activation practice, 12 minutes. Find a quiet place and sit comfortably without tension. Place both hands on your chest, not as a gesture, but as a signal to yourself. I am here with me. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Exhale slowly. Focus your attention on the center of your chest. Don't try to imagine anything, just listen. Say inside, "Show me who I was before I forgot." Stay in the space without expecting anything. If an image, feeling, or sensation comes, don't judge it. Just observe and be grateful. After a few minutes, repeat quietly, "I don't heal because I learn. I heal because I remember." Let this be your mantra. When you're ready, open your eyes slowly. Gently hold your hands and spend a few minutes loving yourself without moving. Let your body soak in this new energy. Do this practice every day for 7 days, not to get results, but to remind your energy field of a memory your soul never lost. What you remember won't come in words. It will come as certainty. Certainty that you are already whole, that your body is loyal to you, that you aren't broken but a vibration waiting to be tuned. When this certainty settles, the inner healer stops being something in the future. It becomes your present. It's a lived awareness, a balanced energy you carry with you. Stop searching. Wake up. Don't repeat what you learned. Listen to what you forgot. Don't try to fix yourself. Watch your original order. Because the deepest healing isn't what you do, it's what you remember. Now you remember. You were always a sacred altar, always balanced energy, and the healer you've been waiting for was always inside you.